Hi guys, just a quick wee intro to me, I guess. My name's Nelly. I've been brewing, probably 2.5 years. Yeah, coming up for 2.5. Yeah, about 2.5 years. So this probably should have been my first video, my first vlog, but hey, well, these things happen. Just guess got a little bit of Dutch courage in my last when I was videoing the homebrew review. So just thought, yeah, let's go for it. So anyway, this probably should have been the first video to go up. So hi guys, new to this, so please bear with me. So like I said, been brewing that length of time. Started off, my partner bought me introduction to home brewing course that I went on in the brew store in Edinburgh, which was really good. Got myself interested in it, bought a starter kit. Then did just kits of various types and styles, just to get my experience up for probably a good 2 years, maybe year and 3 quarters. And then my partner again bought me, was kind enough to actually buy me an introduction to all grain brewing. Which was really good. The same place in the brew store in Edinburgh. Not a name, not plugging or anything, but no, guys are really good in there. And yeah, we actually it was a lot more detailed course. We actually got to brew a batch of beer in the grain father, which was quite cool. So yeah, thought, right, I'm going to take the plunge. Didn't want to spend a lot of money, just in case, I didn't have the time or it didn't work or whatever. So just used mostly what I had by chance in the house and just picked up a few additional bits and pieces. And kind of away I went. So yeah, so far so good. Haven't had any real disasters. Everything's been drinkable anyway. Not always had the results that I wanted, but yeah, I'm finding my feet. It's good. It's a really good hobby. Obviously, the community is really supportive, so thank you so much for any tips that you give us. I've actually got a brew on at the moment. I'll just maybe give you a quick tour of my very basic setup, and we'll take it from there. So apologies, having a few technical difficulties with my phone, but anyway, this is my very, very basic setup. So I'm obviously doing brewing the bag, just draining the grains there before I steep them. I've got a very basic stock pot, and just a second pot for the sparge water. So that is it. That is my setup. But for now, it's doing me. It's doing me fine till I get enough experience to do maybe, I don't know, something in the future, maybe scale up or whatever. But I guess the good thing for me is working at this kind of scale is that I'm getting through a lot more recipes. So I'm getting a brew on. I can have a brew from start to finish. Well, when I say start to finish, I mean like from the point at which you're weighing your grains out to the point at which I'm putting it in the demijohn, and then cleaning equipment. I did get it down to about 3.5 hours. I think I'm probably just cutting a little bit, cutting the corners a little bit time wise there, but typically no more than 4 hours, but just not bad. Usually 3.75 hours. So anyway, because of that time frame, I'm actually getting through a lot more recipes, which is quite good. So I can do, maybe if I can be bothered enough, I have enough energy, I can do a batch in the evening. Usually I wait till the weekend. But yeah, so sometimes I can get a couple of batches on a week if I'm prepared and got enough energy to do so, which is quite good, getting my experience up, getting through quite a lot of recipes. Obviously the downside with operating at this kind of scale is you don't get many bottles. So I'm only getting, depending on whether I put them in 330s or 355s, or even 500s, I'm getting anywhere between kind of seven bottles, 7.5 litre bottles, maybe up to maybe 12 if I'm putting them in 330s. So a lot of my brews to date have just been a lot, you maybe higher ABV just to kind of get a bit more out of them. But no, it's going well so far. I'll just take a wee break here because I just need to start some sparging. I'll be back shortly. Hi, so I'm back. Just the sparging is underway, as you can kind of make out, maybe not very well. Anyway, that's the grains in there. That's just obviously my water. Just started the boil, just to know more. So things are going okay so far. Just turn the heat down a little bit. Yeah, so I can't remember whether I said this or not. So I've not been doing all grain very long. But so far it's going quite well. Well, relatively speaking. So I'm not really. Don't think I've got really much else to say at the moment. Just wanted to say hi to everyone. Join the community in the video sense, I guess. Hope my footage isn't too boring. But I certainly watch a lot of you guys' videos and take a lot of inspiration and confidence, I guess, to kind of put myself out there. So thank you for that. This probably should have been my first video log, like I said previously, but here I am now. I did do a couple of brews over the weekend. Been a bit out of practice. I've not brewed for a good 7 weeks. Built up a decent amount of stock for Christmas and New Year. Things were really sort of busy, catching up with friends, family. So I didn't really get the opportunity to brew over that time period. My stocks are quite running low, so I kind of had to put on a brew soon. So a little bit rusty. Made a few mistakes in my first batch, oatmeal stout. It's kind of schoolboy. I'm relatively new to this, but I probably should have known a bit better. I think my brew in my bag, I think I had it sitting too low in the pan, so I think the grains were sitting against the bottom of the pan, so I think they were exposed maybe to too much heat. What else did I do wrongly? There was another couple of things that I did, I can't remember now. Anyway, so I didn't hit the numbers of that. I think it's only going to end up about 4%. I was aiming for about 5%. But it's bubbling away. So hopefully it won't be too bad. Did a batch on Sunday, yesterday even. What did I do? India Brown Ale. Looked an unusual recipe. I found it in a book and I just tweaked it relative to kind of what grains and hops that I had. Where possible, using sort of substitute like for like, or almost like for like hops, whatever. So that went a little bit better. Again, didn't quite hit the numbers, but that was a better brew day, certainly. So and now I've got on an American brown ale. So far so good. Actually, I'll quickly show you my two brews from the weekend. Hi again. So welcome to my brewery. That is the airing cupboard. I don't know whether you guys can make that out. I don't actually know how to turn my camera around, so in fact I'll just lift it up. Oh, that's probably easier. Apologies. This, which is, at least it's bubbling away anyway. This is my oatmeal stout. I'll get the nappies off camera. this is my oatmeal stout. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. It doesn't look very dark. No, it doesn't. Just the grains that I had low coloured chocolate malt, and was conscious I didn't want to put too much roasted, not barley, roasted, whatever it's called. Can't remember. Is it barley? No, it's not barley. I'll look it up in a minute. You know what I mean, guys. So anyway, so long story short, it's not very dark. It's not going to be very dark, but as long as it tastes and smells okay, I guess that's the main thing. So it's going okay. It's bubbling away, certainly, despite the less than great brew day. So that is the first one, and the one I brewed yesterday. Sorry, bear with me, guys. I'm not very good at this, obviously. I'm going to need a little bit of practice. This was the India Brown Ale. So this actually looks a lot darker than what the oatmeal stout is. It probably should be the other way around, but colour-wise. But anyway, so that is again, that's just started fermenting. So far so good on that one too. That is the brewery. Oh, I'll just stick this one back. There we go. So, hi, back again. Yeah, one thing I should have said, which earlier, which is obvious now, I guess, is I'm doing 1 gallon batches, 4.5 litres or thereabouts, and that's just handy for me. My dad used to do home brewing way back in the kind of 80s when it was really, really poor. He did wine and well, I don't think he did the hobby for very long, but just kept all the equipment. So after I did all my kits for a year or couple of years or so, they were having a clear out of their loft, and I came across his old demijohns and everything. So he said, "Do you want them?" And I went, "Yep, I'll have them." And so that's how I started my all grain. Also, just kind of happened about the right time for me in terms of confidence levels, and kind of feeling about the right time to move on to all grain. So at the moment, I'm doing a combination of all grain and kits. Basically because I don't always get the opportunity to stick on a batch of beer. I've got a wee girl, 3.5-year-old, which keeps me on my toes, and we've also got baby coming sometime in the next 3.5 weeks. So time's going to be limited. So I do a combination now at the moment. If I get the time, I'd put on a all grain batch. But if I don't, then I've just been putting on the odd kit just to sort of keep the pipeline flowing, so I can have something to drink. I'm obviously not going to be drinking very much over the next certainly 3.5 weeks, because I need to be available at any point to drive to hospital or whatever. So I'm all excited for that. But so that's basically what I do. That's my setup. Stovetop, small scale, 1 gallon batches. You've seen the brewery, or at least where I ferment all the beer, in the boiler cupboard. Actually, temperature control wise, well, I don't control the temperature at all, but just with the heating going on and turning the hot water taps on, just as and when, it just seems to regulate itself at kind of yeast parameters, in terms of the upper lower temperatures. It can sort of swing between 17, 18 degrees up to maybe low 20s. So it does me. I know it's not ideal. It's not like finite. You get an exact control, but it's roughly in the middle. So for me, it's good enough for just now. And then in the kitchen, once the fermentation's complete, I do everything else in the kitchen in terms of the siphoning and bottling and whatever. So, and then then I take it out to the garage and to condition. So that is my setup. Very basic, but does the job. I'm getting my experience up, getting through all grain recipes, as many as I can, and just learning. By no means an expert, far from it. I'm barely an amateur, I would say, but it's good fun. It's good learning, learning about the grains and the hops and what they can contribute. Beginning to learn anyway. Takes a wee bit of time. You obviously have to try a recipe to then figure out how it manifests itself and stuff. A bit like cooking in that respect, except obviously the brewing takes a lot longer. That's why I'm sticking with small scale for now. It suits me, it suits my lifestyle. And the only downside of it is the fact that I'm only getting a small number of bottles per batch, but it comes with the territory. So that is it. If there's any more footage, I'll come back, but otherwise, thanks very much for watching, and hopefully see you soon. So I'm back again. I'm probably waffling. I'll just turn the extractor hood off so it's less noisy. Probably if I was organised and actually knew what I was doing in terms of doing a video, so please bear with me. I'm waffling, I'm repeating myself, but hopefully I'll get better at this. So kind of obvious, but so basically, obviously my kit is very basic, as I said earlier. I'm just sparging straight into the top of the grains. I can't really see that properly. How's that? No, that's rubbish, but anyway, you get the idea. So and then basically what I'm doing is, and I don't know whether this is the right thing or not to do, are you meant to do the complete sparge before you start the boil, or can you do what I do and I basically kind of do the sparge whilst the boil's kind of taking place, just trying to save some time, just like cut down the time that it takes overall. So I end up just obviously topping up. Once the grains have been steeped, I just end up topping up, and obviously it goes off the boil, but literally only for like 30 seconds to a minute. So I end up just adding that time on at the end, just so it gets obviously the correct amount of time. Hopefully by trying to save some time, that's not cutting the corners and resulting in poorer quality beer. I don't think so. The first few times I started doing it, I did do it the complete sort of sparge on its own, separate to the start of the boil, and it didn't really seem to make a lot of difference. So hopefully that is going alright. I think it's working out for me, but please comment if you think I'm not doing something right. That'd be appreciated. We will come back when there's something a little bit more exciting happening. Okay, see you shortly.